Hi, today is 12th July and from today exactly 138 days is remaining for CAT 2020. And today we are going to discuss two questions from the geometric progression GP. So you can pause the video and try to solve both the questions. Okay, now let's start with the discussion. The first question says that there are three consecutive terms. So the three consecutive terms of a GP of a positive integers multiply to 1 followed by 6 zeros, which is 10 raised to the power 6. And the common ratio is also greater than 1. So what is the smallest possible sum of the three terms? Okay. So we know that the sum of the three number is 10 raised to the power 6. Okay. So let's say the first term is A and the second term will be equal to AR and the third term will be equal to R square. Okay. And the condition it is given that the product of these three terms, that is A into AR into AR square. If this is equal to 10 to the power 6, then find the minimum value of what? That is A plus AR plus AR square. And we know one thing, that if the product of three number is constant here, whenever the product of three numbers are constant, then the sum is minimum when all the three terms are equal. Alright? But now what will happen if I take all the three terms equal? For example, now if I solve this here, so simply what will I get here? I can say that the value of, I can say what is this here? That is A cube into R square, which is equal to 10 raised to the power 6. Alright. So A cube into R cube is 10 raised to the power 6. So AR it is equal to 10 raised to the square, which is 100. And this is the middle term. This is the middle term. And what will happen if I take all the three terms equal? Like there are three terms A into AR into AR square. Okay, and this is equal to 10 raised to the power 6. And if I take all the three terms equal, like middle term is 100. So if I take the first term as also 100 and the last term as also 100. So in that case, the ratio between two consecutive terms, what is the ratio of these two consecutive terms? That is 1. But in the question it is given that the common ratio must be greater than 1. So since the common ratio must be greater than 1, so I can't take all the three terms equal. So if you can't take equal, then you should take these three terms as close as possible. Okay, because these three terms can't be equal. So all the three terms should be as close as possible here. So now we know that the middle term is already is equal to what? That is 100 here. Alright. So if the middle term is equal to 100 and I need to identify what is the first and the last term such that the sum will be minimum here. Okay. So if the middle term is 100, this is equal to 100 here. So we know that A into AR square. What is their product? That is A into AR square and it is equal to 10 raised to the power 4. Which is equal to nothing but that is 2 raised to the power 4 into 5 raised to the power 4. And as we have discussed, we can't take these two terms equal because if they are equal, all the three terms will be equal and the common ratio won't be greater than 1. So this should be as close as possible here. So I need to look for 100. We know that all of them, both of them can't be 100. So take one factor which is slightly greater than 100. So slightly greater than 100, the factor which is nothing but that is probably 125. Okay, and the other value I can take that is equal to 80. So these are the two numbers which are closest to 100 and they are the factor of this also. There has to be factor and they should be very, very closer to 100. So I can say A, the first term, it should be equal to 80. The middle term should be equal to 100 and the last term it will be equal to 125. So the product of these three terms will be 10 raised to the power 6 and the minimum possible sum it will be equal to 80 plus 100 plus 125. So what is this value? That will be comes out to be equal to 305. Alright, so the correct answer for this question will be nothing but that will be comes out to be equal to 305 here. Alright, so this is the 305 and that answer. Now let's move to the next question. A very interesting question here. It says that A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, it's a series of GP with a positive ratio. So let's say the common ratio is R. So this is a positive, so I can say common ratio is nothing but that is greater than 0. And the first term A1 is also greater than 1. So A1, the first term is also greater than 1. Okay. Okay, the first term is greater than 1. And also I can say the nth term is always going to be equal to a into r raised to power n minus 1. And it also says that A1357 cube. So A1357 cube of this is equal to A34. So what is A1357? That is A into R raised to power 1356. So A into R raised to power 1356 whole cube. And what is A34? The 34th term of this series. That is A into R raised to power 33. So the 34th term of this series is equal to nothing but that is going to be 33 here. So now take the cube here. So that will be equal to A cube into R raised to, remember the power will get multiplied. So 1356 into 3. That will be comes out to be 4068 here. And that will be equal to A into R raised to power 33. Okay. So simplify this. That will be comes out to be A into R raised to power 33. Okay. So A into R raised to power 33. So this will be comes out to be A square into R raised to power 4035. And that will be equal to 1. So we know that A square into R raised to power 4035, that is equal to 1 here. Okay. And we also know that the first term is greater than 1. Okay. The first term is greater than 1. So it means what? What's with the value of R? Because the first term A1, it is equal to nothing but, let's say that is equal to A. We know that is A1, it is equal to nothing but that is equal to A here. Alright. So if A1 is equal to A, which is the first term here, okay, and this is what A. So the product of A into R raised to power 4035. I can write down in this way, A into R raised to power 4035, that is equal to 1. So this is my first term, and the product of these two terms is 1, and we know that the A is greater than 1. Since A is greater than 1, so this term, it has to be less than 1. So from here, we can say that the common ratio is definitely less than 1. I hope that it is clear. It's a very, very important point here. Because A is greater than 1. This first term, it is greater than 1. That is already given to us. So if the first term is greater than 1, and the product of these two terms is equal to 1, or that is only possible if the common ratio R is less than 1. Because if I multiply by something less than 1, so it will be a keep on decreasing here. So we can say that this GP is nothing but this GP is what? It's a decreasing series. Okay, it's a decreasing series. Okay, so and here the common ratio is lying between 0 to 1 here. Okay, common ratio is between 0 to 1. Now, also we have identified that is A into A square into R raised to power 4035, it is equal to 1. So I can say this is A into R raised to power 2017, okay, into A into R raised to power 2018. Write down the product of two consecutive terms, which is 1. So here the product of two consecutive terms is 1. And if the product of these two consecutive terms is 1, this term, it is equal to what? A 2018 term. And the second term, it is equal to A 2019 term. And this is equal to 1. So the product of these two consecutive terms is 1. Alright. And we also know that it's a GP which keeps on decreasing. So A 2001 8, it is more than 1, and 1 must be less than A 2000, 1 must be greater than A 2019. Then only the product of this will be comes out to be exactly equal to 1. Why? Because this sequence is a decreasing sequence. So the value keeps on decreasing. And we know that A 2001 18, it has to be greater than A 2019. So this is here. So what is the answer? The question was what? Find the smallest integer n such that an is less than 1. So you can see here that here A 2019, it is definitely less than 1, and then A 2018 here. So what is the smallest integer n such that an is greater than, an is less than 1? The answer will be comes out to be 2019. Okay. So the correct answer for this question is nothing but that will be comes out to be 2019. Okay, because A 2018, it is more than 1, and it's a decreasing GP. So like I can say E 2017, 2016, 15, 14, or in fact the value of E1, E2, E3 and so on till E 2018. All of them will be greater than 1. And then for the first time E 2019 will be comes out to be less than. And after that all the terms will be less than 1. But I need to find out the smallest. So smallest is 2019. And that's the correct answer. So I hope that it is clear to all of you. Thank you.